got up, checked it out. Come to find out, it was a little deer tick that had found its way right there on that scar. But it felt like somebody was shoving a hot iron all the way through my leg. So that's one reason I could not do beekeeping in no shorts. Appreciate sharing, Bob. Thank you much, man.
Shared it out there. Actually, it's probably streaming over there too, because I hit the button up on top. So, man, what
Come
y'all up?
on with. Well, same old, same old. We did get out there and piddle in everybody a little bit. Got them whole 7 frames of honey.
Hey, 7. Count your blessings. That's 7 more than you had 3 days ago.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to get any honey this year.
Mm-mm.
But the old Ving, you had just enough for the Vingley to get put in some work.
Is that how you say that, Van Lane?
Vingley, I think.
I've been pronouncing that thing. I've been calling it Vingilly.
Vingley.
Yeah.
It's a prestigious war. It's
Uh,
like Fragile. It's an Italian.
yeah, don't give me no words to pronounce.
So, man, out of nowhere, we got a rainstorm here today. It wasn't supposed to rain, and then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere. So
It does a lot.
I sold some honey. I took my buddy his boxes and his honey back to him, and he gave me 3 cases of quart jars. So that worked out. I can use them. And I had someone call me that had bought some nukes early in the year from me and wanted to buy another one. So I sold them a nuke this season.
Awesome.
So
A little money for the piggy bank.
it moving on up.
Yes, sir.
It's getting there. It's coming back. Still, it's kind of light in there, but it's coming back. So
Well, maybe them folks call a little bit more and want to do something for the fall gets in.
get 10 of them in the fall. Well, they had 2. They said one of them just exploded, and one of them was just kind of average. But I had run into the guy at the grocery store, and I asked him how they were doing. And he told me that, and I said, well, that's why you got 2 of them. So you can take some stuff from one, the strong one, and give it to the weaker one and help them, come along. But evidently he didn't. So that one ended up, I think, hive beetled out. So they called me. The bees aren't in there. They just absconded, right? So they said, can we get another nuke? Sure. You can get as much as you can afford.
That's it. I got more of them sitting out here.
I got
Come on
plenty
in.
of them. We can make plenty of them. So but it was raining when he came. So I went ahead and it was in a pro nuke. So I told him, well, if you have a pro nuke, just bring me a pro nuke and we'll just, and he did. He had the one that he got from me last time. So we just swapped, right? He gave me my old one and I gave him a new one full of bees and worked out.
Hey, works out easy enough right there.
That's it. So got that in today. So today was, good day. Good day on the bee side over here.
Good deal. They still hitting you feed hard?
I didn't put any feed out today. So yesterday I had some feed out and I put out those boxes and it was gone. They took it all. It was non-existent, right? So today they were just kind of, I could tell they didn't have nothing to do because they were all just kind of sitting around on, on the front of the boxes, and it got hot. So they just were hanging out, not really doing much.
Yeah, I had to go out which I was kind of reluctant, but went out the other evening and the queen that had the double queen in it, we had made the split. Well, her little bunch, I mean, she come off slow, but she is firing on up here the last couple of weeks. And I guess we had a graduation go on. And, man, I thought another swarm had come in and was taking them over. Well, went back out early that morning, was going to set a little 3-frame nuke box we got.
Right.
Hit them with the lure, all that good stuff. Well, everybody pretty well done tucked inside. So I was like, well, all right. The following evening, come about 3 o'clock, I started seeing that heavy bearding again. That's all it was in the beginning. It done got so hot they was really pushing out this day. So went on down there, and after we had done the full sweep on the beetle run between vacuuming and hitting them with the peppermint extract and the eucalyptus oil, added a medium to them to, well, at least give you a little bit to move that air around. I doubt y'all going to build up very much right now, but at least kind of give you something to move that blasted air.
So, you want to hear the dumbest thing I did today?
Come on with it.
See, this is, I keep it real all the time, right? When I do something stupid, I tell you.
Yeah.
So, I pulled around to the side to load my buddy's supers up and grab his bucket of honey off my porch to put in the back of the truck. I loaded it all up, started backing. I heard, so I just pulled forward. I backed over a deep and a medium I had sitting out for the bees to clean up of my own. So I destroyed about 5 frames in 2 boxes. So, you know, so I had to sell a nuke to recover my boxes and my frames.
Yeah.
but yeah, it you know, the box, you know, F-151 box is 0 on that one because, man, they just, I said, well, maybe they just, when I hit them, they just kind of and broke apart, right? No, shit, no, they were destroyed. But you know what? I only lost 1 plastic frame in that, and about 5 wooden frames.
Silver linings.
Huh?
She said silver linings.
Yeah. So hey, I got to keep most of the frames out of those, but yeah, I wasn't planning to do that, but it happened. So.
It wasn't your pretty boxes, was it? The ones you've been etching on?
No, I got those inside. I haven't even brought them out yet, and I mean, I only have 8 of those put together. All the other 32 are sitting over here on this chair back here. So
It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. Could have been the brand new ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you know, I guess I got to add 2 more boxes to the rotation next year.
I could see that happening around here, no problem.
Troy said he ran over a couple boxes last week.
Way more stuff than me.
So, well, I mean, my thing is, I get to where I'm working on something and I'll set it down, right? Or leave them out there to clean them up, but then I don't come back to pick them back up after that point. So they should have been. I mean, I harvested my honey a couple weeks ago, right? 2-3 weeks ago. I should have had them in the house. Well, there he is.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Tim and Hannah.
Hey,
How are y'all?
Good, Mark. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man.
Good deal.
Good to be home, huh?
Yeah.
What you at thinking with?
You got a cat there. It looks like my cat.
Yeah.
Yep. Only that looks identical to my cat, only hadn't eaten as much as my cat.
Yeah, he's still young. He's still a baby. He's a barn cat.
He's a mouser. I like your
Yeah.
sunflowers back there.
Yeah, I was going to show you my sunflowers. The wind blew them down the other day. Can you see them?
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to make you big real quick. Okay, there we go.
They don't look as pretty as they did. There's some behind that all blew down that were twice as tall, all different colors.
Those are pretty.
Yeah.
Speaking of plants, I dispatched my front yard of buckwheat.
What?
Yeah.
Mow it down.
I mowed it down today. In the front, the back still has plenty, but the front was it was only getting small in most of them, and the bees had already worked them, and wasn't nothing happened with them, so I just mowed them on down. So
Yeah. I got into some of my bees today, and I ain't been in them in a month, and they look a lot better than I thought they would have. Well, I was pleasantly surprised.
That's a really good kind of surprise.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, lady.
I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to make some feed up, but they were fine.
mine have plenty of pollen in them right now, which is a surprise. I don't see much pollen coming in, but they had enough stacked up in there, so it seemed to be doing good. But they sure like the liquid feed when I put it out.
Yeah.
Right. They were laying up a lot better than I thought they would have, Had stacks of brood in there.
That nuke I just sold, I went out there this morning, and I was like, I don't know. It's been in a pro nuke the whole time. All summer long, it's been in a pro nuke. I haven't paid no attention to it. I went out there. It looked perfect. 3 frames of brood in all stages, 2 frames of food, tons of foragers. I'm like, here's your box. I didn't have to do anything. Just here's your box.
Yeah.
Pop it in there.
I'm going to walk down this hill. I may lose you. Let's see.
Mark, you going to the Kentucky Fried Conference?
I don't know, Bob. I've got to check my vacation time and see how that's going to work out.
Well, Lord, I hope I can get
Look at
vacation
that
time.
right
I
here.
bought tickets.
Can you see
Look at
that?
beard.
Make you big again.
I think that colony's melting, Mark. That one on the right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've kind of ignored it. And it's gotten too big for them 2 little boxes. That's just one that I was pulling brood from and using,
Right.
And it's down on the corner there.
I'm wishing that's what our year before last, those horizontal hives that we have. Y'all, we had 3 different colonies in there. And every one of them was 10 frame. And
They did good.
oh, they did really, really good. And it was about this time of the year, you literally could not see the front of the box between everybody bearding between all 3 of those colonies, but there wasn't a whole bunch of drifting.
Yeah.
No, everybody done their little dance and all that up there every evening and got their little spot, and it was pretty much like you just took, I don't know, multiple handfuls of bees and just threw them up against the thing, and they just stuck. But that's where we was trying to get again this year. But I guess with whatever went on with nature this year. But it's nice to see them girls. I hate they burning up, but it's good to see them bearding out good like that.
I had I went in that hot hive. They're no cooler today, that was for sure. I took they were in a double 5 frame, and I put them in a single deep box. Well, I put them in a single deep, and then I added a deep with some comb over top of it so they could just come up and spread out. But man, they do not like you messing with them. Not at all. Not at all. They, when they're trying to sting your suit so bad, and you can actually smell that banana smell, they're pretty hot. They're fired up. So.
Yeah.
That's why I should have ordered some queens from somebody and split that box like 5 ways and give them each a brand new queen.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of reducing down in numbers right now. I had double deeps coming out of winter, and I split them in half. and all them singles made honey, but now I'm putting them singles back on top and may the best queen win.
Right.
So I'm just reducing my numbers back in half, basically.
So you're just literally stacking a colony on a colony. Whichever queen makes it is the one that makes it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, what's the chance that both of them get wiped out?
If it does, it does. No big deal. I'm reducing numbers anyway, right? I'll just take that and use the boxes for some nukes or something. I've got plenty of nukes.
That's the same, and I think that's a little different mindset, right? Like, I was the same way. I got all these colonies. I lost 3 big colonies, what I considered big colonies, right? And I was like, oh, well, I just got 3 more boxes that I could split something back into or move around. Or now I have some boxes, some extra boxes.
Right. And cone too, so it'll help. So, instead of buying new equipment, just use what you got and carry on.
Well,
That's
I definitely.
They can clean up everything you got, have it ready for next year, and that way all you got to do is just boom, get it.
I definitely realized that I'm out of like migratory covers and bottoms though. We'll find that out, but
seems like you don't ever get enough bottoms and tops. Just always need bottoms and honey super.
Yes, that's our biggest deal, keeping up with them supers.
Yeah, I need about 30 more myself.
I'm slowly trying to. I'm gonna keep my mediums until they just rot out, right? But I'm gonna try to go deeps. So it's just one type of box, one type of frame. Don't matter if they're, what they are. Matter of fact, when I was building that colony today, I set up a box and I'm like, okay, I'll drop one in the middle and then one. But they were so pissed off that I went ahead and set up a box, set the 2 nukes on top of it, got another deep box, set it off to the side, and then moved them over all 10 into the one deep. And then I threw the 2 nuke boxes out of the way and picked the box that I had the comb in that was on the bottom, and then just dropped the whole thing and put the other box on top of it. They were not having it today. That colony's not having it at all.
Yeah.
Well, you may have to have that talk that I had with that bunch out there. Come spring, you had better have a better attitude.
Well, yeah, I know, right? That colony, trust me, next year, if it's strong, for some reason, it's always the pissed off ones that survive, right?
Yeah, and they seem like they do better.
You don't have to worry about that colony dying. That's
they're too mean.
But
they're too mean for anything to kill them.
Yeah, I didn't see not a hive beetle in that hive, not a wax moth, not a nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah,
just bees, lots and lots of bees and brood.
That's killing everything.
So, but see, that's the colony that I'll get queens and I'll just split it up into, next year if it's a double deep, I'll just split it 4 or 5 ways and add new queens to them and use them as a resource,
Right.
Oh my gosh. You see Dirt Rooster over here said he made a video with Swarm Rustler today.
Yeah.
What'd you do, spray it on a sandwich or something? Is the video out yet or you just made one and hadn't been edited yet?
Let's see if I can get that thing.
So I'll have to look at it. Look at your video.
I started using plastic pallets and Pepsi pallets. Get them for like $3.
$3 a piece?
Yes, sir. And he's got 500 of them. So I've bought like 30 so far.
So, yeah, my truck was low on power steering fluid. That's fun. Did you So how you stand? Are you just putting like regular bottoms on there, or are you using standoffs? And
Yeah, them ones I built, remember
Mhm.
the ones I built back in the winter? And I'm just putting 2 on one side, and that gives me a little space in the back to lay my smoker or whatever.
Right.
And then come spring, if I want to split them in half, all I got to do is pick it up, put another bottom board down, and I got 4 on there.
That's,
You go down to the Pepsi company and get them, or just some old feller got them?
I'm getting them over in Missouri, and then hauling them back on my semi.
I got you. I just need one.
The thing
Gotta
about plastic, it don't rot like wood, and you can put a wood pallet on top of it, and it never touches the ground.
yeah, I need. What I'm noticing is the ones that I set on the ground, the ants are making mounds underneath them.
Yeah, and then you get termites too.
Yes, sir. See, because I got one. The reason I really need one, it would have nothing to do with the bees. Like, I use one for like a starter step coming up our steps. The way the land is, it kind of it's a platform basically coming off them steps.
They make this stuff called concrete that comes in a bag that you can get. You're at the Home Depot for like $3.65 a bag.
I have to find me a good concrete
2x4s and frame up a little frame and pour it in there.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be great considering I've already fell through on one side.
Just one time.
Yeah, just one time.
And her sister fell through on the other side.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I need a plastic
And
one.
that same pallet is still sitting out there for me to navigate
Look.
every time I walk out the door.
If you walk where the nails are, you're good. Don't step in between the nail pattern. It's like
Don't
walking.
step in the middle.
Well, now the problem is if you put down one of them plastic pallets, you're gonna slide and bust your hiney bow there when you as you're coming down the stairs when it's wet out.
He didn't think about this.
Sure didn't think about that one. No. So it's a rebuild, I guess.
Then
I told her not to.
non-skid. Put it on the plastic.
Well, we can do that. There's plenty of sand around here. I got all kind of paint.
I'm doing work on my back deck now. My wife, we got a freezer and put back there. I got a roof over that back deck. Now she's wanting a wall up there, so I'm putting walls on it.
Uh-oh.
I just got it wired up yesterday for the freezer and getting the walls up now, metal.
That's what happens with them women. They see that one project and they go, oh, I love that. How about let's add this and that?
Like a dishwasher.
Mine wanted me to get rid of the dishwasher, so I tore it out and put shelves in there.
So send that dishwasher down to Tim and Hannah. So Tim can put it in there.
There we go.
See, it's a win-win.
There you go.
Hey, that thing probably sit out there with that ball and clock.
It'll sit on top of that pallet.
Yeah. I didn't complain about the pallet because look, the way our yard is a pretty good slope. So the front door is a good 5 feet off the ground, like the floor level. But we went, I don't know, 6-8 months before he finally put any kind of porch on it at all. But all he put was the porch. He didn't build any steps going down. Literally, I had to sit down flat on my butt on the edge of the porch and reach down to a 4-foot step ladder for like 3 years before he actually built steps coming off.
I run out of scrap material.
It's easy if you got a pattern to go by, but if you have to draw, measure it out and all, it's kind of tough sometimes.
Hey, bro, I'm going to be honest. Instead of cutting all them stringers out and dealing with all that mess, I went and bought some 5-step stringers, I
And he
leveled them
designed
babies
the
up.
porch around those stupid stringers. So he didn't have to build anything else.
Hey, it works good. You come down 5 stringers, you got a 4x8 platform, hook a left, then you go down another 4 stringers to the pallet.
Yeah.
So it's good. She got a nice place to put her plants and all that kind of stuff. So she took advantage of the space, we'll say that.
She just has to dodge the potholes in the floor now.
You see what Dan Weaver said? The cobbler always has a hole in his soul. It's a, that's because when you do that for a living, the last thing when you get home that you want to do is that, right? You got everything else you got to do.
I mean, I really do, because I got to work with him. But at some point, like when you're falling through the floor, you need to do something with it.
Right.
I'm one of them. I just push it because I think, well, if you step on the nail pattern or you step on floor joist or whatever the case may be, you're good. But it is getting time. And I told her the other day there's a sod farm not far down the road, and he had a stack of them babies out there. And I said, I need to stop and talk to Ernie. He just said if he'll come off one of them pallets for me, and I ain't got to rebuild nothing.
So I'm starting to put Operation Honey Extraction into play here. So that fellow that came bought the nuke, right? I said, you guys got any honey extraction equipment? Oh no, we don't have it. I said, well, next year when you need honey extracted, you just bring it on over here and we'll extract it on my machine. That way you don't have to spend. I said, I've already spent $6,000 on my equipment, so you can just bring yours over here and we'll put it to work. So,
how you liking that uncapper, Bob?
I like it more and more every time I use it. So,
is turning that handle? Is it kind of?
It's easy, actually. I still feed one at a time. I don't put 5 frames in there because for me, if I had somebody there loading them up and I was spinning them or something like that, that makes sense. But I just take one out, put it on there, spin it, grab another one, spin it, And yesterday I did my buddy's 25 frames, right? 2.5 boxes. It took me not even 10 minutes to uncap everything. It took longer for the blades to heat up with the steamer than it did to extract it.
See, I'm still old school. I still use a hot knife. When you do 150, 200 gallons, it gets old.
Yes, sir.
Well, you can buy just that head, the steam and the blades.
Right.
Of course, I didn't know that when I bought mine, because that's what I would have done because I already had an uncapping table.
Well, I'd have to have the tank too, the capping tank.
Well, I know a fellow has got an extra one right here in Columbia, South Carolina. If
I didn't have so many doctor bills, Bob, I'd be over and get it from you.
I know how that is.
My out-of-pocket expense is $52,000.
My word.
When you fight it so long, they don't drop you, but they make it to where you can't hardly afford it.
Right. Well, yeah, the insurance, I mean, I pay for my insurance like $760 a month. I mean, for, it's dental, vision, all that stuff. But but still, you still only covers like 80%. Right?
Yeah.
So you still got that 20%.
How much is your deductible?
$5,000 a year or something like that.
See, mine was $7,500 for me and my wife, which is $15,000. Now it's like $18,000 a piece or something like that. It just keeps going up and up.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'll go ahead, Mark.
If you try to get insurance somewhere else and you say I got cancer, they'll hang up the phone on you so fast it'll make your head spin.
About the only place you can get it is through work.
Yep.
Which means you got to keep working. I mean, that, you know what I mean?
Yep. Until you can retire, get disability. Uh, Now they place I work sold out, so they're fixing to swap all the insurances over, and I don't know if I'm going to get it, if they'll take me, or if I have to keep what I got and pay what my employer paid subsidy part. I may have to pay that too, just to be able to have insurance.
But don't
So
I thought that was one of the things Obama said, that they couldn't do any pre-existing
I,
conditions
I
on
don't
that.
know.
A
I don't
lot.
know.
Supposed to be affordable too.
Yeah.
It'd help if
They-
I'd quit these.
Well, I mean,
That's well.
we all got our deals we're dealing with, but I mean, I kind of, Mark, I put myself out there with you. Hannah went shopping for some insurance on myself, and was it for you?
He's gonna have a list on my things.
That's
That's
right.
one of the only reasons I work. So my wife has insurance.
Right.
Man, it was just $800 for her with her pre-existing conditions. Then, not even counting looking at me and mine.
It was something crazy. I mean, it was like some astronomical, like a $15,000 deductible or something. Like it was
Right.
ridiculous.
Just because you had a condition.
Yes, sir. Y'all send me
Yeah.
a bill. I'll send you $25 a month.
That's it. When you get 100 different bills in a month, and you pay them $5, that's $5. That's $500.
Right.
But then they turn you over to collections because they're not happy with their $5, right? So
Yeah.
what do you do? You can't pay them.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. What I did is, once they sent it to collections and it got charged off, I stopped paying.
Well, I don't know whoever bought the debt. I had no dealings with them.
Right. And then when they
Well,
do call and try to collect it, I say, well, you know what? This is already charged off of my credit. So since it's a mark on my credit, then it's just going to stay a mark on my credit, and you
That's
guys
it.
write it off.
That's it. You
well, I guess it kind
understand?
of goes back to the old saying that you can't get blood from a turnip. So it is what it is on that. I mean, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. You got to eat. You got to keep the lights on.
Right.
Those
You
kind
gotta
of things.
live.
So, yes,
The
sir.
bad
That
thing
definitely
is, I don't know, some states are different, but here they can put a levy on your wages where they can take up to 25% of your income every week for insurance or for medical bills.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It ain't here yet, but if that's already going on in some places, it won't be long. It'll be everywhere.
Well, I know it's in Georgia and it's here now, so it's moving that way. Y'all are next. Georgia, Alabama. There you go.
Well, maybe with Alabama, we're last on everything. Everything.
Edward.
So maybe that'll be kind of beneficial on those ends. There's some things, yes, we need to do in this state, but you talk about literally the last on everything. They've been working on a stretch of highway that's 25 miles long for the last 40 years, literally.
By the time they're done, they start over again because it's done wore out.
Right.
Just walk about. They got
It's
all
just job
this money.
security. All it is, job security.
Well, let me tell you how much sense it made. When I was working on the ambulance, we had got a call out there with some of them state boys that got hurt. Old boy fell and broke his arm. So here we go, lights and sirens out there. The boss man tells us, hey, if I can take him and not have an ambulance bill, good deal. So he loads him up. And we ended up staying talking to, I get one of his other lead men. And we was talking about, man, you know, this is 30 years y'all been building on this highway. Are you going to finish it? Well, they said we could have been done, but all the red clay that we pulled out to get down to the hard stuff, we sold it, sent it up north end of the state for whatever. So when it came time for them to lay a good heavy clay base for that road, what they have to do? they had to buy dirt from a couple counties up.
And pay to have it brought over here.
Yeah,
Was that Mississippi or Louisiana?
this is Alabama.
Alabama.
Did you see where Mark's comment? I laughed. Told him I put everybody I own name in a hat and in a note. You call me again.
That's good.
I'll call you back and see if they won the drawing.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
steal that line. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you, that.
Did anybody win that $1.5 billion mega ball or whatever?
We didn't want to say nothing, but
Well, we got our new dishwasher on order.
yes, sir.
And a brand new motorized extractor.
Hey, and I'm gonna take. Remember that talk about the dollar store the other day?
Yep.
I'm gonna take her there, and I'm gonna get her some fancy new clothes.
What are you talking about?
I have to tell you after live. It was funny, me and Bob talking about that.
Oh my gosh. No winner, Russell says, so it's gonna go up.
Hey,
Oh boy.
Might
That'd
have
be
to
all
take
right,
my honey money down and buy me some tickets.
how much is it? How many millions?
It was over $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Man.
That's why Amy keeps sending Lynn across the state lines about lottery tickets.
Yeah, because we ain't even got lottery in Alabama.
Y'all don't have lottery in Alabama?
Ain't no lottery. The
We
only
have to drive to Mississippi or Florida to play.
and the Indians is the only one that's got a casino. The state don't even allow a gambling.
We might have to start doing that pool thing. We'll get everybody on the stream to cash out the money, and I'll go buy tickets. And then at the end of the week, if we win, the whole YouTube chat, whoever put in money wins, splits it. Y'all wouldn't be able to tell us nothing if the YouTube. Oh my gosh! If the YouTube channel hit the Mega Millions and everybody put in like
Oh my God.
$3, y'all wouldn't be able to tell us nothing.
We're rich.
We'd be wilding out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be one of them, y'all. We won't be doing lives for a few weeks, I tell you that, because we will be in the woods, gone somewhere.
Designing my dream kitchen with a dishwasher in the cabin.
Wait, so your house would then become a rental. Be a rental property then.
I don't know. I don't think I want to deal with that.
No, I
really don't.
Just
we give away what we got. Here you go. Take it.
Yeah. Find somebody that needs it. You can have it. I'm gone.
We don't go far. We know pretty well where we'd be, but I don't know why I just did that. But yeah, I mean, we would be sure enough tucked off in the woods with honeybees everywhere then. Probably hire somebody to do the honeybees on that. Just have some close for us to work and tell them, y'all go work the field out there.
What is the point in having bees if you're just going to hire somebody to?
Well, if you got enough bees, you need somebody to help you work.
I know. I don't want to be shut completely out of working bees. I'll have a few little pet hives.
Yeah, we have, you know.
You can hire somebody to make operations.
Yeah, but then you could have a commercial operation and
on that 300 acres that you buy with your Powerball winnings or your Mega Millions winnings.
Right in the middle of that 300 acres.
Just find you a town that's kind of run down and just buy the whole thing. Just walk through how much you want for your house. I'll pay you cash today, but you got to go.
Hey, I know where some places are right now that I would most definitely go by and do just that right there. Some of them old homes right up there by your grandma's house.
We might could buy that house I sent you the pictures of the other day.
Man, dude, you talk about a fancy house.
That house is insane.
I don't want nothing like that.
Was that the one with the theater?
Yep. I just want the driveway. I'll see if I can show the photo on my phone here.
I was watching, I think it was Steve's outdoor bees he does.
That's
None of them. Talking about.
that's the theater in the house, Mark. He froze
Just a
up. Oh,
hang.
he froze up.
Ruh-roh.
That's the pool, the infinity pool. That if you look in the back, it actually has it overlooks the lake. But I love that when you're driving down the driveway up to a house and you can't even
Yeah.
see the house. It's like they got their own street.
Yes, sir. Like I said, old Steve talking about 750 feet of driveway he said he had. I'm thinking to myself, that's all right there. I could deal with that.
That's the but you know that fellow, I went into that guy's house. He had 4 Mexican ladies that were cleaning his house up. I mean, mopping, just like it was. You go in there in the bedroom, smell fresh, like when you go into a hotel room, how they just everything's fresh washed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, this is pretty impressive. You got them on the payroll. None of them spoke a lick of English either. Because I ran into them as they were coming out, and I was going around. But they let me see, cold frames had hive beetle larvae and wax moss already came in, added bees, frames, string. The but yeah, that house was pretty impressive. But you know, he worked for it. He got his own company, software company, so good on him.
Hey, it seemed like you're doing all right. Grammy, those bees, those frames you put in, did they still have potential hive beetle larvae, anything on them you know of? That'd be my own worries, them little bitty jokers that you can't see yet.
So I always put them in the freezer and then pull them back out like a day or two later.
That'd be one thing we need to do, I guess, on that end, to find an old, I don't care what that joker looks like, but just for those times, an old deep freezer I can set out there on that porch.
Well, how much honey did you end up with out of your harvest?
I think it's 31 pounds we got off those 7 frames.
It's not bad though. I mean, they were deep frames?
Yeah.
730. That's like six pounds a piece, right?
Don't give
7
me
frames, 35 divided by 6, 5.83 pounds a frame on average. Ain't bad.
No, sir. I'm glad we got on in there and got them, because I believe if it had been another, I don't know, 3 or 4 days maybe, the way they had them beetles corralled in, that's the only thing that saved us. I pulled them frames up. Instead of them being on top, they had them corralled between the frames and the box.
I had one that there was a crack between the bottom board and the bottom of the box, and they were all in the crack. They had them all in the crack between the bottom board and the box. So when I lifted that box off, then I could see them.
There's one that we got a plywood bottom on, and you know how that plywood, it'll go to separating over time, the bottom board. Well, I had cut the bad off one time. Well, it's done gotten bad again, and they done just that exact same thing where that gap is, where that plywood is pushed up. You look down on the front of that bottom board on the outside, they got them lined up in that crack down through there. But we hit them hard with the tries or whatever it was, to throw out, kill the grub stuff in the ground. Vacuumed everybody real good as far as beetles. Then hit them hot and heavy with the peppermint oil and eucalyptus oil. So we're going to
I need to get some more stuff to make some stands, because I got hives sitting on the ground and I need to get them up off the ground. But hopefully it doesn't confuse them too much. by lifting them up.
No, it shouldn't. Just a day or two. Then probably about a day they'll have themselves back lined out on it.
I'd buy 1,000 acres, no driveway. If I wanted to talk to y'all, I'd fly my new helicopter out to bring you in. That's
yes.
a plan. It won't. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, it was nice this morning. I was making a comment when I started selling honey. I was like, wow, it's pretty cool out there. It was humid, but it was kind of cool still. And then, man, it just spiked up to 95 and hot. And then out of nowhere, a storm just came in. It got real dark outside and just started pouring for about an hour and a half. I think elevation is easy.
It done that yesterday here. We wasn't expecting no rain, to be honest with you. And it started sprinkling for about 15 minutes. And I was like, this ain't even hardly knocking the dirt down.
Right.
And buddy, about, I don't know, it wasn't too long after that, we got us a good shower for a minute. I think I checked the gauge and got a little over an inch of rain. But when I walked outside after the storm had passed yesterday evening, man, it was like springtime out there. It felt so good.
Right.
But once again this morning, now all that was erased.
I think I sold, I don't know, today I think I sold about $80 worth of honey, $90 worth of honey, something like that. All right, Chris, have a good one, buddy.
Yes.
But that was just people just stopping in, you know.
Well, plus you said you sold a nuke too, didn't you?
And I sold a nuke. Yep. So I sold a nuke for $200, and then he said, "How much is your honey?" I said, $10 a pound. He said, "I'll take a pound." So I went and grabbed him one of them. So $210 on that. So now the thing that worries me about that nuke, it's not the nuke. The nuke is fine. But the beekeepers are first-year beekeepers. And now they're taking a nuke. I know what they're going to do. They're going to carry it home and they're going to drop it right in a 10-frame box, right? And if they don't absolutely feed the heck out of that thing, it's going to be too much space, and they might lose it out again. So, don't know.
Yeah, keep them good and tight in that box right now.
But let me tell you about this nuke. So this nuke was a nuke that when I got the last nukes and they were building up and nobody had bought them, I did a few like walk away splits, right? Just made splits and let them make a queen. That was one of them. So that was like a bonus nuke. Yep, I told. Well, see, here's the problem. So yeah, they can feed that nuke, but the other colony that is I assume it's right next to it, right? Because they only have two. The other one is a triple deep. So if you feed the little one, the big one's just going to rob it out. Right. So
yeah, what y'all doing? How far away are they from you?
He says like a 5-minute drive from my house.
So I imagine he's dealing with the same conditions you're dealing with right now, seeing the way you're having to feed. You know the dirt is on.
5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes by the car, may be close enough where my bees can actually fly to his place too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I do anything like that, and I know a lot of folks ain't fond of it, but you just like, you know, yourself and us when it open feed, but it's on the other side of the yard where we do the open feeding. We don't do them, you know, they're a good 75, 100 feet away from the colonies where we do any feeding, which probably need to go further, but we've never had.
See how far mine is. It's not very far, but it's away from all the colonies. They have to go to it, right? Because someone made a comment last night. Did I find that it stimulates robbing? No, I don't. I don't. And I don't have a problem. That's why I do it, right? So I can feed my little ones. I figure, you know, the big ones are going to get the bulk of it, but it keeps them from robbing the smaller ones, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you on that because, I mean, last year they didn't hardly touch the open feed. They're kind of acting the same way this year, and I've just been going off like those wet frames we put out the other day. There was bees on it, but it wasn't the full blown. We gonna get in here and get what we can to get out.
I've got
But
2 buckets of feed left. That's what I've got before I have to buy sugar or go back to Charlotte. So,
well, it's just cheaper for you to go over there and get them buckets, ain't it?
oh, it's cheaper, but it's whether or not I, timing wise, it is the thing. So if I go next Saturday or this Saturday coming to get feed, I might have to, but I'm not feeding them that much. I'm only feeding them every few days. I'll put some out because I'm not trying to get them to really store that until I get the rest of the supers off. Once I get the rest of the supers off, then I'm going to pack it to them. But right now I'm just trying to give them something to do. Very low sugar content in it. And, and give them some forage.
Well, maybe since Ziggy, I know he's up in the North Country up there, but maybe we ain't too far behind on fall flow.
Are you seeing goldenrod down there with y'all yet?
It's everywhere. I mean, it's up and getting it. The only thing is just it ain't blooming yet. But there's
mine ain't blooming yet either. So I'm probably a couple weeks behind y'all whenever yours blooms.
Now there's buku. I don't know what they are, but along the road, I mean, it kind of looks like a clover does in the spring. But there's a little bitty yellow flower. I don't know if it's a jewelweed or something, but that stuff is everywhere on the highways up here, just blooming like crazy.
Yeah, Michael says the same thing. His goldenrod is up and not blooming yet, so that's what we're waiting on. A little bit of goldenrod flow.
Yeah, but old Jim said he got a full bloom. So
just trying to let that.
I was gonna say y'all kind of keep us. Let us know maybe in the next chat or two, something like that, how it is where you're at. That way, maybe we can start picking up on down here. If it's going to be a little earlier season, or if it's going to lag into maybe a little bit later season, I don't know. But the way it's looking, like I say, it's everywhere.
I just wish this heat would break, man. If it would just 95 days or 95 degrees plus days are getting old. What's supposed to be this week? 98, 96, 95, 94, 94, and then 95 next Saturday. So that prayer is not going to be answered. And then Sunday, 95, Monday, 96, and Tuesday, 95. So the next 10 days is going to be straight in the 90s around here.
You'll be a few degrees cool. I think we're supposed to hit the triple digits for a couple of days and back on down to the high 90s.
The bees ain't going to be happy.
No, ain't nobody going to be happy out there in that mess. Good grief.
Me neither. Me neither.
We had a chimney repair. Was supposed to start on this week. And talked to the gentleman today. And we had to switch it until next week, not this coming week, but next week. But in a way, I was like, I'll go with yes, sir. We can do that because I sort of 95, 98, and all that's bad enough to deal with. Which I mean, if you're working outside, you know, but you start getting in them triple digits and that humidity stacked on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to be in it.
Well, we all know he's down here, right? If the thermometer says 98, you're in triple digits already. It feels like way hotter than that, right?
Oh yeah.
And I actually have to get up on my roof and fix some things.
So get out there when that sun's coming up. You'll hate doing it, but you'll be glad. Come about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it gets brutal.
Maybe so.
Sorry.
We'll get a little cooler weather too. I can't fuss much about the cold weather anymore. Used to, I did, but I don't welcome it. But I don't fuss about it nowhere near like I used to.
Ed's saying 90 plus all week where he's at.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a tough one this week.
Yeah, like Hannah said, we're pushing them 90s until
October.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Before we see any kind of 80s, it'll be October at least. But then it's still hot.
Where are you getting your freeze dried products from there, Brian? I wonder if they got I had somebody ask me for my hot honey, and I haven't made any, but I do have some honey that I would be willing to convert right now.
Michael Tangway talking about 70s all week. Ziggy, I don't know what the 25 Celsius is, but that's pretty warm, I reckon, up there.
No, it's in the 70s, I think.
Oh, well, hey, that's
That's
dream weather right there now.
Man, that's Christmas weather. That's Christmas in July.
Yeah.
No, I can remember plenty of Christmases. It was well above 80 degrees Christmas Day. No trouble.
Oh, hey, those were great years. You got a bicycle for Christmas that year. You could go out, hit the streets.
And not freeze to death.
Yeah. But it's just, either way, we got to take it. We living in it, so it's either knuckle up or.
The honey laws from the Department of Agriculture, South Carolina Department of Agriculture. Oh, crap! I'm glad you asked me that because it just reminded me I got to do something else too. I got to file my monthly tax return. Yes, I said monthly. That's welcome to South Carolina retail.
About that.
Ooh. Every month got to do one up there?
For retail.
I don't know about doing retail, but I think down here you can do 3 months, 6 months, or a year, depending on how you want to do your dealings here.
All right, I'm trying to find that link for you.
Thinking that, do y'all have to brand y'all's boxes up there? Put a brand on them?
Nope. I don't. I just did it because it looked cool. At least at first, until it starts rotting, right? It starts rotting out or something, then it won't look that cool.
I had to look, or maybe Ed, Lisa, somebody, one of y'all Alabama folks could tell me for sure, but I think when we was filling out all our stuff that we have to put a brand on each one of the boxes that's sitting on the colony.
That's the
I don't know why, but
let me just make sure I ain't in violation over here. Well, take me 2 seconds.
bingo. Yep.
Log in.
You see eggs.
Hmm.
I'm growing red ghost peppers.
It had to send me a code.
Yeah, I couldn't do them peppers like that. No. As far as I go with them peppers is that pepper jelly. Jalapeno.
Action Center. Uh-oh, I have an unread letter. Oh,
Larry Moore.
We don't.
No, sir, we don't. I got to get us a little, I get logo of sort. I'd love to use our little profile picture that we got. But I think the way I want to do it, I want it to be like in color or like a picture look. And I'm pretty sure if you try to do a label or something like that, it's going to cost you out the tail to have something like that printed versus maybe doing a logo of sorts and kind of keeping it simple to where you could do a black and white or something along those lines. But I got an idea for what I want. And I had a buddy I grew up with. I told him, I said, look, this is my idea for my logo. Can you draw me something? The dude he can, a phenomenal artist. The dude will jam up with a piece of paper and pencil. And I don't know, a couple of weeks rolled by and he sent me a picture. It was right where I wanted, but I told him, I said, we may have to tone it down just a little bit because it looked like a honeybee on steroids. And I said, if we may have to just kind of make it not look so. Yeah. But
Ed said they want you to mark all the brood boxes.
Mark the brood box. Okay. But I guess you have to buy a brand.
My boxes, I've got 8 of them put together, but all of the lasering's done. I just have to assemble boxes. And because I helped my buddy out this weekend, I did not have a chance to put any boxes together. I took some boxes apart with my pickup truck, but I ain't put none together. You're muted, Tim. There, I'm up to date with my taxes now.
Is it going again?
There. Good.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, that thing, that laser's only a 10-watt laser. It's not. That thing doesn't use hardly any. This AC is where all the electric goes. Last month, our electric bill was $758.
My heavens.
I would have had a heart attack. I mean,
and that was 1 month. It wasn't like we was behind and had to pay 2 months. That was 1 month electric bill.
Ooh, that's not cool.
With a high efficiency heat pump.
Sounds like it.
But when it's 110 outside, it's not going to get it any cooler than about 90 degrees in your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just keeps running, trying to keep up with it. Let's see. All right. So we're good with that. I'm good with that.
Something hurt the billfold.
It's old McNally.
How is everybody doing tonight?
James.
Are you wearing shades because you're hungover from the partying in Manitoba?
I'm wearing shades because I'm driving into the sun back home.
How was the trip?
So far so good. So had a good meal with some friends there last night. Had coffee with some more friends today. So all in all, pretty good. I got some new equipment in the back of the truck. Well, new to me. So I would say a successful trip.
Nice.
What's the topic tonight?
Oh, whatever you want.
I was listening earlier, so you guys were asking about fall flows and temperatures. So it's 23 degrees Celsius up here right now, but at home we're approaching. We're within a few degrees of zero pretty much every night for the last 2 weeks. So my season up here is coming to an end very quickly.
You talking about zero, like freezing, 32 degrees?
Like freezing, 32 degrees. That was 3, 4, 5 degrees. So it's going down to single digits pretty much every night at home.
I can't hear.
Is his volume low on your end too, Bob's, or just
Yeah, it's your mic's a little low from the phone, unusually tonight.
Oh, well, probably not a lot I can do about it. Just being as kind of where I'm at. So.
Right.
I am driving across Saskatchewan again, so who knows what the service is like.
So how many hours till home?
Oh, sheesh, what a week. Yeah, probably another 12 and a half hours.
Oh,
so
mercy.
I take it you're staying overnight somewhere tonight.
We will stay in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan tonight.
I'm reading the comments. Yeah, my electric bill was quite high. And it's a one-story, not very well insulated house that was built in 1960. So ask the Canadian about airtight stoves.
About airtight? Yeah, what about them?
Is that well, we were talking about ACs, and he said airtight AC, and then he said airtight stove. So
airtight, I don't know anything about airtight AC, and I'm a sheet metal mechanic, but as far up here, what we call an airtight stove is exactly that. It's a wood-burning stove, and most of the time they would be a reburner, so it'll burn that smoke too. They're very, very efficient, and they put out a lot of heat on for a long period of time with just a little bit of firewood.
Oh, nice.
I don't think you want to light a fire down there if it's going to be in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I already melt. I had to go through 2 clothes changes today just selling honey. So I did sell a nuke today, James.
Oh, well, there you go.
So someone that bought 2 nukes earlier in the season, one of them didn't make it.
Oh.
So they wanted to replace it, but I sold it to them. But then I was thinking maybe it wasn't a good idea, because if they go home and they take that nuke and drop it right in a 10-frame box, and then they get overwhelmed again by beetles or moss, then...
Well, that's always a tough one as to what people do with the bees after they leave your property. So I ran into a little bit of that this year as well with one customer. So she bought 2 nukes, took them home, and divided those 2 nukes into 3 boxes. Of course, she only had 2 queens. And then she had mixed all the bees up, so the bees ended up balling the queen because she mixed the 2 boxes together. So she ended up with only 1 queen surviving, and somehow that was my fault. So now, dangerous, slippery slope. I went out with more bees and queens, and I made it right because that's my reputation on the line. But you always have to wonder what do you do there. So after they leave your place, what do you end up doing with them?
Right. Keith says we got a big ball of fire in the sky. That's enough down here.
So Tim and Hannah, what are your bees doing down there?
Well, everybody kind of just, trying not to melt, more or less. But they flying good, bringing in the pollen. I think we got a slow flow of some sort still going on. But
my bees today were fanning so hard that when you walk by the colonies, you could literally hear them trying to move the air.
So in that heat, do you guys lift your top cover up at all, or do you just kind of leave them as they are?
Just leave them alone. Figure they can do it. My thing is, if I open the top, then I feel like I'm introducing more of a chance for even more pests, hive beetles or something to get in there. Another thing, it might be a good idea, but I've never done it. The only, it makes I guess a good case for screen bottom boards down here. But even, the ones that I have screens on, like the Lyson colony, I don't know if it's because it's a screen bottom board or because it's the R value of the hive, right?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of reluctant putting that little old medium in one bunch. But it seemed to help them out.
I'm going to say sorting out my brood boxes, pulling all the honey out of that probably this week. I'll pull that up on top of the queen excluder. I'll allow the brood to hatch out. I will pull all that off my hives, and I will probably start feeding inside of, I'm going to say 2.5 weeks. So that'll basically give me till the end of October to pack that bottom box out and get them ready for winter.
Did you find any extra deals on equipment while you were picking up your equipment?
I have a lead on the final piece of equipment that I need for my line, and yes, it is a Cowan.
Oh, extractor?
An extractor, yeah. So just hopefully the gentleman will give me a call here, but that'll give me a complete Cowan line. So that might turn out very, very well.
Nice. See, I made the bigger extractor yesterday when I helped my buddy out. It made a difference because he only had 25 frames to extract. I was able to extract his whole crop in one spin of the extractor for him.
There you go.
So did help him out.
If this comes to what do they call it? Permission? No.
Fruition?
Provision? I forget how you. Fruition. That's it. Good thing I got my way. But that'll give me 52 frames at a time. I can spin out. So that'll help a whole bunch.
Then you won't have to worry about that Maxant 30 framer.
Correct. So.
How many say 50 frame?
52.
52.
Well, it apparently is a 40 frame horizontal Cowan extractor. So but we'll see. I haven't seen it. It just I kind of caught wind of it, and I've asked the gentleman to pass my number along to him. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Now, would you have to drive back to Manitoba to get it again?
I would have to drive back to Manitoba to get it again, but I'll be probably doing another trip anyways. I'll be looking at putting a box order in and a frame order in here, and the freight costs so much money. It's cheaper for me to drive down and pick it up. Even 18 hours each way, it's still cheaper than paying the freight to have all that freighted up to me.
Ooh, 18 hours.
18 hours one way.
That's
a long drive.
But hey, if you're saving $600 over $200 and some change and gas,
I could drive to Tim and Hannah's house and back, and it wouldn't be 18 hours.
It would be more than that. So right now the freight charges are about $1,000 a pallet from Winnipeg to Grand Prairie, and I'd be looking at probably 4 pallets of unassembled boxes and probably 2 to 4 pallets of unassembled frames. So when you look at it that way, say 8 pallets, $8,000, I can drive a long ways for $8,000.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be there with my 16-foot trailer. No problem.
That's yeah, that goes back to that whole thing we keep revisiting with scaling, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you go
Brad and I were talking about that last night, actually. How fortunate, the beekeepers down here are to be within a couple hours driving time of multiple suppliers and multiple fabricators. I've got nothing. The closest city to me would be, aside from Grand Prairie, would be Edmonton, and there's no manufacturer there. There's really no supplier there either. So it's a bit tough. Yeah, I'm in a real good honey zone with lots of good crops and stuff around, but I have to travel, or I have to pay to get that stuff shipped up to me.
Well, it just makes good sense taking doing what you're doing on that end.
Well,
keep those several $1,000s in your pocket.
And you can't get it like added on to Curtis's order. It wouldn't be cheaper just to get it added on to what Curtis already has coming to his shop.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Oh, okay. Should be, but not if you're paying full retail for all your boxes.
Well, or not if I'm paying somebody else's freight.
That's the same thing here, right? Is if I go to my store, if I buy 100 boxes, I'm not getting a price break. It's $2,500. So that's what I got to come up with.
Yeah. Well, the order I'm looking at putting in, so they are giving me the bulk pricing. So my pricing is very, very good. And I'm getting the select grade boxes. And we were talking about that down here too, being as I dip my boxes for about 20 minutes. So, and then I dip them the second time for a minute as well. And my wax is going pretty much everything except for about, I'm going to say 3/16 of an inch. So the wax goes in from both sides. So those boxes should last easily 25 years plus, right? So, you spend a little bit more money, but they should last a little bit longer. At least that's what I'm hoping.
As long as you don't run over them with your truck like I did today and bust up a super and a deep.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
I saw a smoker today that somebody ran over. That was pretty flat.
A what?
A smoker.
Who ran over it?
Well, let's just say it was pretty flat hanging on the wall. We'll just leave it at
Okay.
that.
Oh, there's Ian's laughing. So he must. So I bet I can figure out who done that one.
Yep.
Or hey, pull a Russell there. Forget what you're doing. Let your honey run all over the floor.
Well, I actually made up one of those. I took a lesson from one of Bob Binney's videos there, and I set up. I went and bought a water detector, and I set that up, and I put that on top of my pails. That's saved me twice already this year, just by having that alarm go off, not paying attention, so at least you don't overflow your pail. You can reach over and close the gate there quick enough that you don't end up with a big mess on the floor and a loss of that honey, right?
Yeah, do something like I don't know. I know you can get them for chickens and everything else, but like stick a little float in that bad boy somehow to where it floated up so far to shut it off.
Well, that's the next thing. So the next thing is I got to get my clarifier done and my float put in there for the honey pump, and that'll take care of that too.
Well, you've got a clarifier, right?
I've got it all drawn up, and the sheet metal shop or the fabrication shop's ready to build it. I just haven't given them the green light to go ahead they'll fold it all up, and then I'll bring it home and weld it all up. I sold all my brakes and my shears here, quite a few years back, but I can tell them exactly what I want, how I built, and they'll just cut it all up, and then I can bring it home and weld it all together.
I just did something stupid, and I was thinking about it. No, not Bob doing something stupid. That would never happen.
James, it sounds like you got your good plan going on there, brother.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming together. So the trick is to just be patient and think things through, and then when you've got a plan, execute on the plan.
Well, I do purchase some things on impulse, but they're not really impulse, right? It's like I kind of get an idea of something that I would like to have or that I want, and then I kind of wait to see if it goes on sale. But I don't just go and buy it necessarily right then. Jasper falling asleep.
Yeah.
And kind of try to be opportunistic as much as I can. One day I'll have Ian Stepler money and I can just buy whatever I want.
Hey, we hit that lottery.
I was going to say, the trick with running an operation like that is, you might have a big honey crop, but it comes with some big bills. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we all do that, right? We all have a tendency of seeing the end result, right? So we all automatically calculate, well, we sold, you made 5,000 pounds of honey. And then it's like, oh, well, that's $50,000. But they don't see the $100,000 you put out in equipment or that 50,000 input,
Well, it might be $50,000, but it's only that once you sell your honey,
Right.
Just because you have the honey, the money's not in the bank yet.
Absolutely.
No, you got to sell that and make that money back. Then start going for a profit.
But we were talking about that today, and I've been quite fortunate because earlier in the year I knew I wanted an extraction line with the way I'm going and everything like that. But I priced out a lot of new lines, and I just don't have the $60,000 to $100,000 right now to put out for a new extraction line. But being ready as something comes up and presents itself, if you've got that nest egg set aside, then you can pounce on that deal. And I mean, I've been quite fortunate. I've got a Cowan uncapper. I've got a Cowan outfeed table. I've got a line on a Cowan extractor. And really, I think Cowan is kind of the premier extraction line out there. I mean, my uncapper they're not sure exactly when, but it was built somewhere between 1973 and 1975. And that thing is still bulletproof. Yeah, I had to rely on the machine shop to make me a few parts and pieces, but that thing is going to be, pretty much like brand new. And hopefully it'll be
right.
in operation this week.
But the price that you got on it warranted making repairs on it.
Absolutely.
So, here what I find is when I see stuff, you'll find an older unit, but it's like they still want near brand new price on it,
Well, I always say everything is always for sale, right? But it's, it comes down to the person selling it. Are they actually trying to sell it, or is it for sale if they get, an outrageous price for it? So, what I'm finding is, as long as I'm patient and I keep an eye out and I keep watching, I'm actually putting together, I think it's going to be a pretty good line.
Now you need to get a deboxer.
Well, I was looking at that today too. That's actually not that hard to build. So I can't read it.
I watched Ian's video the other day with his. That was pretty neat little.
Ian's got a comment up there, but I can't read it while I'm driving.
It says, teenagers run my Cowan line turnkey.
Oh yeah. You know? So I mean, that's what I'm trying to, you know, put together. I'm a one-man operation, right?
The well, is, you know, for that, as automated as you can get it, the better.
To an extent, right? To an extent.
And
Well, until you spending that kind of money, you had better taken at least get halfway decent quality equipment. You investing that in there, you don't want to turn around in 5 years and drop that again for.
Oh no, and like I said, you guys will see. I've got my video all. Well, I've got it all videoed, and I got the teardown of the uncapper pretty much edited, ready to go. The putting it back together here, that'll be probably the second part of the video. But like I said, it is as good, if not better, than brand new because of the upgrades and a few things like that I'm doing to it as well. So. There's Brad.
Where'd Tim go?
I was going to say, I'm not sure where Tim went or Bob. All I see is Bob's chair.
Bob walked out.
no, I went and got a
Tim
drink.
disappeared.
Sorry. What happened to Tim and Hannah?
I don't know. He vanished as soon as I come in.
Well, it's our show now. There they are.
Here he is.
Look what I found at
It's
at Sam's Club today. So it reminded me of the sodas in Canada, so I had to buy them. The little like smaller cans there. When I was
it
when I was in Canada,
doesn't look familiar to me.
they had smaller cans. No, this is Snickers iced coffee.
I see that. That sounds good.
It'll be my first taste, so we'll see. By
Hey, Tim.
Victor Allen.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to your show.
Or should I say buttons? Did I miss something?
Buttons and Hannah. Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, buttons is pushing buttons? Yes.
Oh, it's pop in Canada and soda in the States. Yep.
Lost him again.
And Brad's muted.
I was just talking to my wife.
I saw that the photo of the first ever meeting of the Blind Welders Guild.
You betcha.
And James is frozen. And Bob's slamming iced coffees. Woo, let's go.
Well, I'm almost
Right on.
Brad.
I bet you that would be good with like a little Kahlua or
I
something.
betcha, eh? Bailey's?
Little Bailey's in there. Brad
Nice.
is gray.
Yes, I'm gray. I'm just pale. I'm a pale Canadian.
We're playing musical entrances and exits here. So I sold a nuke today, Brad.
Yeah.
So they bought 2 nukes from me early in the year. One of them just went off the rails, and the other one ended up either wax moth or hive beetle or something. They had absconded. So they came and bought another nuke today. And I sold probably $80 worth of honey too out in the yard.
Nice.
People just
Right on.
dropping in. So
It's a way to do it, man.
just a little bit here and there.
Didn't have
Nickel
any
and
drop
dime.
in.
Hey, glad you're back
Didn't
to
have
your
drop
show.
ins today.
Thank.
Yeah, welcome back to your show.
Have to be the bearer of bad news.
This does not work.
This thing, once we for some reason get past that 2-hour mark,
Start.
it starts messing up. But
Why
I
does
guess-
it have buttons and Hannah?
Because he has earned the name Buttons.
Buttons.
Because he cannot stop pushing buttons. I think DC started calling him that. Somebody did, and it just stuck.
Well, like when I try to put the comments up, somebody's comment and all that, it would go and do and be fine. Then, well, one of the last times I hit the exit button on my phone, so it dipped us out completely out of the whole conversation.
He kept making the phone freeze because it wouldn't move the comments fast enough. So he just keep hitting buttons over and over, and the phone couldn't keep up.
Going in and out, in and out.
Tapping his hand like a 2-year-old. Just stop.
Yes, he was.
Catch up.
Like a chimpanzee with a pistol.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
Yeah, you pictured it, eh, Bob?
Yeah, whatever, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
hey, I bet you it's 20 times harder running StreamYard through your phone than it is through the
I
computer.
bet.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
got to be much harder.
If we could get some high-speed internet up here, then I'd
It would
try
help.
to run it off the laptop. We done like a, what do you call it, in the studio before you come in,
Right.
and we made a test run with Johnny. I don't know, it's a month or so ago.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, the laptop was just, you couldn't hardly hear us or anything like that. So we was like, well, hey, we know we can run it off the phone, so we'll just
But
work
does
with
your
it like
cell
that.
phone work as a mobile hotspot? If
Yeah,
it
that's
does,
what I'm trying to run it off of.
oh, and it wouldn't do it fast enough?
No.
No, it can't keep up with, I guess, whatever the computer does.
I'm going to take a little bit of a break. If anybody's passing through Chamberlain, Saskatchewan, there's a place here called Twisted Sisters. You've got to stop for an ice cream. I'll show you in a couple
Ooh.
minutes why.
That sounds good.
I'm just going to put you on hold here.
You know, put us on hold. Be right back with my cone.
What time is it? I'm gonna put 9:30.
It's 10. Yeah, 9:30 your time, 10:30 my time.
We'll let James get back with his ice cream real quick, then we'll probably end it there. But Brad, while I can see you and talk to you, brother, appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for hosting.
We just want to let you know before we head out again one more time before officially ending the show.
Because it'll die at least one more time before we close.
I took a sting on the eyelid today, right there. Feels,
Oh, you
like,
poor thing.
feels like someone punched me right there in the eyeball.
That woman that got a hold to you, tell us the truth.
Bing! Right in the side of the head with the frying pan. But
I was working some nukes today, and one got a little bit cranky and tagged me half a dozen times.
well,
Not too nice.
I took that one hot nuke and moved it to a 10 frame deep. They did not like it. They did not like it one bit. So, but they got in there. I suffered through it. Now it's like, see you next spring. hope the mites don't get you.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're going to go through a lot for them now.
Yeah, everybody else is going to be like mite treated and everything. That one maybe not so much.
Yeah,
We'll let them figure it out on their own.
that's awesome.
But you know what though? There was no beetles, no moths, no nothing in that colony. I mean, you assume anything that gets close to it, they're just pissed off at it, right? So it's like,
Yeah, they just kill and destroy.
yeah, that's it. But the thing is that they're growing. I mean, so it's like I could just grow them up and then split them and requeen the nukes out of them next year.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Could tolerate them that long, for sure.
Well, like I said, I just leave them alone. Let them do.
Well, I mean, my buddy down the road, we chirp about quite a bit. Lance, we go and help him with his colonies, and there was one that pretty much the same thing like we was talking about. Y'all, they would just
They would
cover you.
annihilate you. Like as soon as you crack the lid, they were coming at you.
Relentless. They wouldn't play you.
He
And
ended up killing them. He just stuck the whole box of bees in the freezer and killed them.
He took the whole box of bees and everything.
Tim told him to requeen them. Well, he called the next day, and Tim was like, you crushed the queen? He said, no, I stuck that whole box in the freezer. I was like, dude.
What did he do? He just strapped it up? He just strapped it up and lifted the whole thing and dropped it in there?
Yes.
he took nuke and everything
He
and
had
stuck it in that freezer.
basketball of frozen bees 2 days later when he opened that freezer up. I was like, dude, that's just brutal.
Oh, we went
I mean,
through.
they were hateful, but I wouldn't have went that
That's
far.
that's a pretty creative way to take a hive out, though.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
it'll work now. It will
I
work.
mean, coming from him, it didn't surprise me. I was like, that was just a really drastic first
He's my
step.
kind of people, because he would have been like, hey, Bob, you got another nuke I can get?
Yeah.
This is
It
this is
was-
only a 2 scoop.
Only $3,700 Canadian.
No, actually,
Oh, wow.
that's the best part.
That's a heck of an ice cream cone.
There you go.
Christ.
Strawberry or cherry?
Black cherry.
Black cherry.
You lost me.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'll stick to the peach.
What did the wife get? Hold on, that looks like Rocky Road.
Chocolate and caramel. That's all I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's about like there's a little country place. If you pulled up to this place, you would never think these people sell ice cream and
No.
fresh milk,
You pull up to the barn behind their house.
and they do good business. But, buddy, you talking about some of the best ice cream you have ever eaten in your life.
I mean, they have their own dairy farm. So they make their own ice cream from the cow's milk. But
Mhm.
my gosh.
They do that there too? They got their own cows and everything?
Oh, yeah, everything that comes
Like
from right
they
out the
butcher 'em
backyard.
and sell beef and everything.
You get milk, you get butter, fresh butter, cream,
Oh my word.
all kind of different ice creams.
All I can say is, if you're ever in Chamberlain, Saskatchewan, I can't go. You can't go through
It's
without
probably the only building in Chamberlain, Saskatchewan.
I've been to Chamberlain, Saskatchewan. Yes, it is about the only building
It's not very
in Chamberlain. There's another building, but it's the house the guy who owns the ice cream store lives in.
and there is always a lineup here. Always. I mean, it's 8:30. It's 8:30 at night here, and there's a lineup. What 1, 2, 3, 4 deep here yet?
I believe it. That's how it is when you can find.
Well, they have to drive 16 hours to the next closest ice cream shop, so there's going to be one there. They probably have a sign outside. They probably have a sign, where they have the directional arrows. Nearest ice cream shop, 245 miles that way, 357 that way.
So, Bob, you've been to Saskatchewan then?
I'm just going off a rumor. I've only been.
Throw your nice chest in the truck. Take it to the house.
I've only been to Roseneath in Ontario.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Well, my cousin lives there on Rice Lake, at the Indian Reserve. Oh, I'm sorry, First Nation Reserve. Don't ban us, YouTube. We weren't trying to be offensive.
That's
Yeah.
Bob Walker at Walker B Ranch.
That's it. But we're talking Tommy Hawk Indians, not Red Dot Indians, so we got to be clear.
Yeah, make sure to distinguish, Bob.
Oh,
So
Uh-huh.
And we know there's no air conditioning in that truck, so he's got to eat that ice cream fast.
Yeah.
Really fast.
He's melting down.
it's 22 degrees outside and 24 degrees inside.
I guess so. The ice cream is actually cooling the cab down.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Wait.
the way he's pulling on that thing, it ain't gonna last long enough to melt.
Mm.
Oh, it's melting.
it's already dripping down his hand right there.
Yeah, it's melting.
Yeah.
So your truck has no air conditioning in it, or you just don't turn it on?
Oh no, it has no air conditioning. I can open the window, so
It's a
Save
real
a whole
sweet
2 degrees. Wait a minute. It's like here, if you could, they don't even sell cars without AC here.
oh, this one had it a few years ago. It's hard to put a $3,000 compressor in a $1,500 truck.
Yeah, you got a point there.
It's even harder to put a $3,000 compressor in James's truck.
But that's probably because it's got something to do with an Irishman and a cheap Irishman at that.
Well, maybe his B truck will have air conditioning.
Oh, my B truck has air conditioning.
That'd have been the truck I'd have been rolling in.
Well,
Yeah. Seeing
I bet you Brad would have been, there's no way in hell I'm riding in the truck from that 18 hours with no AC.
Brad jumps in my truck last time I was down there. We're going to Winnipeg. We're about 15 minutes down the road, and I look at him. I says, "Oh, by the way, I have no air conditioning." I'm not
Yeah.
sure if
It was the hottest day of the summer. It was the hottest day of the summer, and we had about a 2.5-hour round trip to make. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
nice surprise.
I wasn't sure if he was going to jump out or choke the living daylights out of me.
I'm a pale fat guy. I don't get along well with trucks and no air conditioning on a hot day.
And they don't even put them old vents on the
Fit
trucks
better
anymore.
on the way home, though, or your shorts fit better on the way home after being in that truck. Because if it's like mine, I lose 20 pounds when I'm outside working, just in water weight from in my shirt.
Ooh, yeah.
Nearly had a medical emergency.
James saying, "Man down." I mean, Brad, man down.
Yeah.
I don't know. James is keeping up with it, though. I mean, it's definitely soft ice cream now, but he's rolling with it.
Last time I made the mistake, I got a 3 scoop. I had to pull over. It was all the way down to my belt.
It's just running down your arm. Well, see, if you were driving while you were eating it, you could, lower the temperature by at least 2 degrees by rolling down your windows.
I figured I was doing pretty good YouTubing and driving.
Yeah.
YouTubing, driving, and eating an ice cream. My wife would kill me.
Oh, so I did see, speaking of extracting, I see DC extracting. We talked about extractor lines. So I saw where Hilco put out a little thing about their extractors. And it was like tips on using their extractor about, he said, when you're spinning honey, the honey gate should always be open. Do you guys leave your gate? Well, I mean, you guys have so much honey coming out, and you've got a honey sump, and you've got everything, right? So you can fill up how many gallons will go in your sump?
I don't have a sump. 5 gallons goes in my pail.
Well,
you do have to
just
close
a
it
matter
and
of how
change
much
pails.
does your it's just a matter of how much honey your extractor can hold. Like there's always a space below the rotor, and you don't want to get honey up to. That's the whole point. You don't want the frames or the rotor to start whipping the honey.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. So I always start mine, but I usually have my bucket right there. And then once it's started for, gets wound up, then I'll pop it open and let it start straining out.
Well, I don't think people should take things too literally. If you need to close the gate to change the pail, close the gate, change the pail.
Yeah.
It's the point is that, I always felt too that a bit of honey in the bottom of my small extractor that I had kind of helped weigh it down a bit and helped with the wobble.
Yeah,
but
don't wobble it that much.
Yeah, a little bit, but you got to be careful. You don't want to start, because it starts whipping the honey, and then it's pretty hard on the motor. It's really hard to turn then once it starts hitting the honey, and it whips up the honey something terrible too.
But how? I mean, I've never had that where it was where the honey was so deep in the bottom of my extractor to where the basket was hitting it.
Well, do it once. You'll never do it again intentionally.
Yeah,
No,
we
I'm
done it
good.
before last, and it was like that. And it was like, no, need to empty this on out. Yeah. But that was that
I've
with
done
that
it,
big old 4-frame hand crank.
You could feel it probably in that thing. Start to
Oh
hit
yes,
the
you
honey.
feel the drag on it when it gets up to that
So
level.
you can,
Now,
so you can
like using
imagine
an
a
old
little
egg
motor
beater.
on that thing. A little motor on that thing would drag it down pretty bad. It might start to overload the motor.
Russell says Bob never gets that much honey. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much the case. I just even 25 frames that I spun out. I mean, yeah, it wasn't full capacity of the extractor, but I always open the gate before it gets to that point because I'm trying to fill the buckets and everything. So,
well, you say, oh, you get a sump, and you got I got the sump, and Bob calls it clarifier, a melter, tank, a pump, the whole thing. But my extractor, I can extract faster than I can get it to strain into my pails, so I'll end up often filling the melting tank. I'll fill the sump, and then I'll close the gate on the extractor, and I'll fill the extractor, and then I'll fill the uncapping tank, and so I'll just get ready for the next day. And once I come in the next day, I can pail off the tank of honey, and then start the pump and pump out the sump, and then let the extractor drain and all that kind of stuff. So
it
yeah,
is kind of almost a bottleneck for you then. Well, we talked about it. I mean,
and that's why I'm not too, my old 33 Kelly radial takes a long time to load and unload, and the spin time is kind of long and all that kind of stuff. I don't worry about that too much right now because it's my straining and paling system that regulates the entire process. If I had something better there that was more flow through and it was faster, then I might start looking at the extractor and thinking, I get a little whatever 28 frame or 24 frame or something horizontal, that would be nice.
I'll tell you what, the fastest way for me to do it was just using those paint strainer bags in a 5-gallon pail, pumping it straight in, filling it up, and then lifting the bag out and with any wax particles. And then, get most of the honey out of that, but then I just put it back in my uncapping tank, and the rest just, drains back through the system. But then I still have a full bucket that I can just throw a lid on and move it out of the way right now. But
do you know what micron those strainer bags are?
200, I think.
200, 400.
400? Because I use 400 micron
be
strainers, and they're just about right.
Mine are 400 as well.
Mine are 200 micron, the ones that I've got.
Go buy, if you're looking for some, go buy a paint store or go to a paint store. I guess let me get my wordage right. And oftentimes, they're going to order a 400 micron for them sprayers. Whether you get a 1 gallon, you can get a 1 gallon or you can get a 5 gallon. We just usually grab, 4 or 5 of the 5 gallons and stick them up, come home and put them in some bleach water, wash them good, rinse them off and let them dry, then start the process for them.
I bought a 50 pack of 200 micron for $59 US. shipped from Amazon. Last time I bought them.
This ice cream stone didn't stand a chance.
Didn't stand a chance. But did you get one on the way down too?
No, I didn't get one.
He
on the way
did.
down.
He got something.
They were closed.
That's crazy. But
He sent me a picture of a great giant ice cream cone.
Oh, that was last trip.
You see that? DC said I was watching Darren with Hilco's uncapping tank and it was defective. Wasn't built wide enough for frames.
uh-oh.
You know, who
Somebody didn't measure twice.
Gus Mitchell said something about he bought I think it was a bottling tank, and when he got it, it was all dented up and everything, and he didn't speak very highly of that one. But I don't know. Everybody that's gotten the extractors that I've seen has liked them, but it's probably
Well,
like everything else, probably China, everything.
I mean, I don't know what happened between the company and there, but you can guarantee most of it is folks just flinging stuff around when they're shipping, chunk it in the truck, kick it down the aisle, whatever the case may be, instead of picking stuff up and actually moving it. That's probably where I say half the damage of things like that come from.
Said something about coming off the line that way, and that happens.
And some of them come off the line that way, and that just happens.
That's a QC issue there, then.
Yeah, seems like you want to remedy that. That's just a waste of material and money.
How do you buy an uncapping tank that the thing you're uncapping, the frames don't fit in it?
Wonder if you can get a capping tank stretcher, like a board stretcher.
Oh, Hilco didn't tell the customers, huh? Huh.
But that goes back to design. Like, that's not just a oopsie on the line. That's
Yeah.
Right, you
somebody
figure
in
all
the
of them came out like that.
CAD department who can't do math or something, you know?
One job to do and screw it up, Jim says. Yep, that's.
Well, I mean, you're running off a blueprint as it is, programming it in that computer. I reckon you are. I mean, that's how we would build houses. You give me a blueprint first, then we'll start doing the building.
I think most of those things are cut out by a plasma table, and it's all entered in that way pretty much now, anyway. So.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to skin it for the evening, I believe, y'all.
Getting out of here?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Appreciate y'all coming on. Enjoy James and his ice cream.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Now he's going to have a carb nap.
Well, not for about another 170 kilometers.
Y'all be safe on the way home, brother, and Lord willing, we'll see y'all on, Bob and them live Tuesday.
Excellent. Have a good night.
Y'all too. Y'all take care.
I gotta find that link.
Hey, take care, everybody.
Yes.
No.
Good night. I'm gonna watch that video. James popped off. Oh, he's in stream audio only. And then there he is. Are we still live? We're not live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah, I think so.
Tim and Hannah didn't unlive us yet.
I'm popping in and out of cell phone service.
See, I got it.